us a little bit about if somebody's going through a miscarriage right now, what do you want them to know about their experience, about their future fertility? You know, having been there, having created a business around this concept, is there anything you would say to somebody who's experiencing that right now?
Oh my gosh, there's so much that we want to say. I will just share that from my personal experience is when I had my miscarriage, I was 41. I remember when I found out that I was pregnant, it was my 41st birthday. And I was in the doctor's office and they're like, "Oh my God, happy birthday. This is your birthday present." And then in January, I found out about the miscarriage and I was devastated. I was older and I didn't know, okay, well, I guess, I felt so lucky that I got pregnant, but also I was like, will I be able to have another child? And in my case, I had a friend that had texted me and said, "This isn't the end of your story." And I remember holding on to that belief and truly believing that it wasn't the end of my story. And it wasn't, Julia. I put my husband on prenatals or nutrients to support his sperm. And I did actually a few things on my end to heal. I did 3 months of acupuncture. I did not try for 3 months. I really took the time to focus on myself and my healing. And 3 months later, on my first try, I was pregnant and I had Emma at the age of 42. So I always say 2020 was a crazy year for everybody because we know why. But for me, it was also like January, I had a miscarriage. March, I started WeNatal with Vida. And then December, I had Emma, my second daughter. And so I just want to say to anyone who is experiencing loss right now, it is devastating. It is so hard. It's literally, I never understood the concept of trauma until I experienced my loss, but also you'll get through this. We're resilient people. We will get through this. And one day you'll look back and understand why this was your path. So that's just my 2 cents on advice to those who are experiencing loss.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And very similarly, I think I mentioned to you after my first one, I really went down a horrible downward spiral. And after the second one, well, it's not something you want to go through with your best friend. Having someone to lean on saved me. I will say this is when friends and family, I didn't even know until I started sharing my story. People at work started to show up. My own mom had miscarriages. I had no idea. And there is, when you're ready, some healing in sharing your story and finding people who have been in your shoes and leaning on your village, because you're going to need that village also when you have kids. But there's one other component of why WeNatal is not just a supplement. And we came out with a beautiful manifestation journal. It's a tool that I honestly wish I had going through these two, but it gets you back to a practice of gratitude and manifesting that family of your dreams. And really, even if it didn't happen right now, believing that it will happen. And there's so much impact of stress in our daily lives that a little bit of gratitude can go a long way for healing and for, getting your body ready to try again. So a couple minutes of gratitude and just being kind to yourself. It's really easy not to. I definitely learned that the hard way, but knowing you did everything, and listen, you could do everything right and it could still happen. So just knowing there is optimism on the other side. Give yourself time to heal and lean on the people around you that can support you during this tough time.
Hi, I hope you loved this little excerpt of Stork'd, the podcast where we talk about all things family building and families. This was a little taste of the bigger episode. We call it a Stork'd Munchkin. If you love what you heard, I highly encourage you to check out the full episode wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also find it on the Stork'd website at storkdpodcast.com. If you're in the process of building your own family or exploring what family means to you and you want to stay up to date on all relevant topics related to family building, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. It's called Let's Start a Family, and it is found on Substack. Happy listening.